Hello, my friend. I'm really happy you're here today. Before we begin, I want to ask you a simple question. What are you waiting for, really? Take a moment and think about it. How long have you wanted to speak English with more confidence in real life? Maybe 1 year, maybe 3 years, maybe even 5 years. During that time, maybe you have watched many English videos, learned grammar rules, memorized long word lists, listened to lessons, saved useful phrases, and told yourself, one day I will speak English naturally. But even after doing all of that, maybe a part of you still feels stuck. Maybe you understand English when you hear it, but when it is time to speak in daily life, your words do not come out quickly. Maybe you know many words, but you do not know how to use them in simple, real situations, like greeting someone, asking for help, talking about your day, ordering food, making plans, or answering a normal question. Maybe you are waiting until you feel more ready. Maybe you are waiting for more vocabulary. Maybe you are waiting for perfect grammar. Maybe you are waiting for a speaking partner, a class, a teacher, or a special chance to practice with native speakers. But, my friend, here is the truth. Most English learners do not stay stuck because they are not smart. They do not stay stuck because they are lazy. And they do not stay stuck because they have no ability. Many learners stay stuck because they keep collecting English, but they do not practice using simple English sentences every day. They read sentences, they listen to sentences, they understand sentences, but they do not train their mouth to say those sentences clearly, calmly, and confidently. So, in today's practice, I want to help you see English in a very simple way. English is not only a subject, English is something you use when you wake up, when you talk to your family, when you go outside, when you meet people, when you need something, when you explain something, and when you share your thoughts. You do not need to wait until your English is perfect before you speak. You can begin with short daily sentences. You can begin with the words you already know. You can begin with one useful sentence, then another sentence, then another sentence, and slowly your mouth becomes more comfortable. Today, we are going to practice daily English sentences for real life. These are not strange textbook sentences. These are simple sentences you can actually use. You can use them at home, at work, at school, in a shop, on the phone, with friends, with strangers, and even when you are talking to yourself. My name is Evelyn, and I want you to listen slowly. Repeat when you can, and imagine real situations while you practice. Do not just hear the sentence. Feel the sentence. See yourself using it. This is how a simple sentence becomes a real speaking skill. Now, before we begin the sentences, I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself tomorrow morning. You wake up, and instead of thinking, my English is weak, you start your day with one small sentence. You say, I'm ready to start my day. It is simple, but it gives your brain a clear message. Then you say, I need to get ready. Then you say, I have a lot to do today. These sentences are not difficult, but they are useful. They belong to real life. And if you practice them every day, they become automatic. You do not have to translate them slowly in your mind. You just say them. Let's start gently with daily morning sentences. Repeat them slowly if you can. I'm ready to start my day. I need to get ready. I have a lot to do today. I don't want to be late. I'm going to take a quick shower. I need to brush my teeth. I'm looking for my phone. Where are my keys? I forgot where I put my bag. I need to leave in 10 minutes. I'm running a little late. I'll eat breakfast later. I'm not very hungry right now. I need a cup of tea. I need a cup of coffee. I slept well last night. I didn't sleep well last night. I feel a little tired today. I feel fresh today. I hope today goes well. Now, listen to how these sentences work in a real morning situation. You wake up and say, I feel a little tired today. You look at the time and say, I need to get ready. You cannot find your phone, so you say, I'm looking for my phone. Then you see that you are late and say, I need to leave in 10 minutes. This is real English. It is not complicated. It is not fancy, but it helps you speak about your real life. When you can talk about your real life in English, your confidence grows very naturally. Now let's practice a small exercise. I will give you a situation, and you imagine yourself speaking. You wake up late. Your room is quiet. You look at your phone and see the time. You say, oh no, I'm running a little late. Then you get ready and say, I need to leave quickly. Then you cannot find your keys and say, where are my keys? Now say it again with a natural feeling. I'm running a little late. I need to leave quickly. Where are my keys? Good. You are not just repeating words, you are connecting English with a real moment. Now, let's move into home and family sentences. These are sentences you can use with people around you, or even when you are practicing alone. Can you help me for a minute? I'll be there in a second. Please give me some time. I'm almost ready. I need to clean my room. I'll wash the dishes. Can you pass me the water? The food smells good. I'm going to make something to eat. What are you doing? I'm just relaxing. I'm watching something. I'm listening to a lesson. I'm practicing my English. Please speak slowly. I didn't hear you clearly. I understand now. I don't understand yet. Let me try again. These sentences are very powerful because they help you keep a conversation alive. Many learners become silent because they do not know how to react. But you do not always need a long answer. Sometimes one simple sentence is enough. If someone says something and you miss it, you can say, I didn't hear you clearly. If you need more time, you can say, please give me some time. If you make a mistake, you can say, let me try again. These short sentences protect your confidence. They help you stay in the conversation instead of giving up. Let's practice another real-life exercise. Imagine someone asks you a question in English, but they speak too fast. You do not need to panic. You can smile and say, please speak slowly. Then you can say, can you say that again? After they repeat it, you can say, I understand now. Let's say those sentences together. Please speak slowly. Can you say that again? I understand now. Now say them again, but this time more naturally, like you are really talking to someone. Please speak slowly. Can you say that again? I understand now. Very good. These are small sentences, but they can save you in real conversations. Now let's practice sentences for going outside. These sentences are useful when you leave home, travel, walk, shop, or meet people. I'm going outside. I'll be back soon. I need to buy something. I'm going to the store. It's very hot today. It's a little cold today. The weather is nice today. It looks like it might rain. I forgot my umbrella. I need to take a taxi. I'm waiting for the bus. The bus is late. I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I'll call you when I arrive. I don't know this area. Can you show me the way? Is this the right road? How far is it from here? I think I'm lost. Now imagine you are outside in a real place. Maybe you are standing near a road. and you are not sure where to go. You do not need advanced English. You can use simple English. You can say, I don't know this area. You can ask, can you show me the way? You can ask, is this the right road? These sentences are direct and useful. And if you practice them now, you will feel more ready when you need them later. Let's do a small speaking practice with these outside sentences. Imagine you are going to meet a friend. You leave home and says, I'm on my way. You are close to the place. So you say, I'm almost there. But then you are confused and you say, I don't know this area. Now ask for help. Can you show me the way? Again, slowly. I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I don't know this area. Can you show me the way? Excellent. This is how real speaking is built, not by memorizing 1,000 difficult words, but by practicing simple, useful sentences until they feel easy. Now let's move to shopping and buying things. Many learners feel nervous in shops because they do not know what to say. But actually, shopping English can be very simple. You can say, I'm just looking. You can say, how much is this? You can say, do you have this in another color? You can say, do you have a smaller size? You can say, do you have a bigger size? You can say, can I try this on? You can say, I'll take this one. You can say, that's too expensive. You can say, do you accept cards? You can say, can I pay in cash? You can say, can I get a receipt? You can say, I need a bag, please. You can say, I'm looking for something simple. You can say, I'm looking for a gift. You can say, I'll think about it. You can say, thank you for your help. Now let's turn these sentences into a natural shopping moment. You walk into a shop. A worker asks, can I help you? You say, I'm just looking. Then you find something nice and ask, how much is this? You want to check another option. So you ask, do you have this in another color? You decide to buy it and say, I'll take this one. Then you ask, do you accept cards? This is enough English for a real shopping conversation. You do not need to speak perfectly. You just need useful sentences that help you complete the situation. Now repeat this mini conversation in your voice. I'm just looking. How much is this? Do you have this in another color? I'll take this one. Do you accept cards? Good. Now say it again, but imagine you are standing in a real shop. Speak clearly, not quickly. I'm just looking. How much is this? Do you have this in another color? I'll take this one. Do you accept cards? Very good, my friend. You are training your mouth to use real English in real situations. And this is exactly what daily practice should feel like. Now, let's begin with the kind of English you need every single day, from the moment your day starts. Real life English does not always begin with big conversations. Sometimes it begins with one simple sentence in the morning. You open your eyes, look at the time, and say, I need to get up. Maybe you feel a little tired, so you say, I didn't sleep well last night. Maybe you feel fresh and ready, so you say, I feel good today. These sentences are small, but they are useful because they connect English with your real life. When you practice English like this, you are not only memorizing words, you are teaching your brain to describe your day in English. Let's practice some natural morning sentences. Say them slowly and clearly. I need to get up. I'm still sleepy. I slept well last night. I didn't sleep well last night. I need to wash my face. I need to brush my teeth. I'm going to take a shower. I need to get dressed. I'm looking for my shirt. I can't find my socks. I need to hurry. I don't want to be late. I have a busy day today. I have some free time today. I need to make breakfast. I'm not hungry right now. I want something light. I need a cup of coffee. I need a cup of tea. I'm ready to start my day. These are everyday sentences, and you can use them immediately. You do not need a special situation. You can say them at home, in your room, in the kitchen, or while getting ready. Now, let's make these sentences feel more real. Imagine it is early morning. Your alarm rings, but you still feel sleepy. You say, I'm still sleepy. You look at the clock and realize you need to move quickly. So you say, I need to hurry. You start getting ready and say, I need to brush my teeth. Then I need to get dressed. After a few minutes, you feel more awake and say, I'm ready to start my day. This is how you should practice. Do not only repeat the sentence like a machine. Imagine the situation. See yourself using the sentence. Feel the meaning. This helps your English become natural. Now let's practice home sentences. Many learners think English is only for big moments, like interviews, travel, or meetings, but your home is one of the best places to practice. At home, you can speak about simple things again and again. You can say, I need to clean my room. You can say, I'll wash the dishes. You can say, can you pass me the water? You can say, the food smells good. You can say, I'm going to make something to eat. You can say, I'll be there in a minute. You can say, please give me some time. You can say, I'm almost ready. You can say, I'm just relaxing. You can say, I'm watching something. You can say, I'm listening to a lesson. You can say, I'm practicing my English. These sentences sound simple, but they are exactly the kind of sentences people use in normal daily life. Let's use them in a short practice moment. Imagine someone calls you from another room. You are not ready yet, so you say, I'll be there in a minute. Then they ask what you are doing, and you say, I'm practicing my English. Maybe they ask you to help with something, and you say, please give me some time. Then you finish what you are doing and say, I'm almost ready. Now repeat those sentences again with a natural voice. I'll be there in a minute. I'm practicing my English. Please give me some time. I'm almost ready. These sentences help you respond naturally instead of staying silent. Now let's practice sentences for talking about how you feel. This is very important because real conversations often begin with feelings. Someone may ask, how are you? And many learners only answer, I'm fine. That is okay, but you can sound more natural with simple sentences. You can say, I'm doing well. You can say, I was a little tired. You can say, I feel better now. You can say, I'm not feeling great today. You can say, I'm in a good mood. You can say, I'm a little nervous. You can say, I'm excited about today. You can say, I'm worried about something. You can say, I feel calm now. You can say, I just need some rest. These sentences help you express yourself. English is not only about asking questions and giving information. English is also about showing your real feelings in a simple way. Let's practice a real-life feeling exercise. Imagine your friend asks, how are you today? Instead of giving only one answer, try 3 different answers. First, say, I'm doing well. Now say, I'm a little tired. Now say, I'm in a good mood. Each answer is correct, but each answer gives a different feeling. Now imagine you had a difficult morning. You can say, I'm not feeling great today, but I'll be okay. That sentence sounds natural because it is honest and calm. Now repeat it slowly. I'm not feeling great today, but I'll be okay. Good. This kind of sentence is useful because it helps you sound human, not robotic. Now let's move to leaving home and going outside. When you go outside, you need English for movement, direction, timing, and small updates. You can say, I'm going outside. I'll be back soon. I need to buy something. I'm going to the store. I'm going to work. I'm going to class. I'm waiting for the bus. The bus is late. I need to take a taxi. I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I'll call you when I arrive. I forgot my umbrella. It looks like it might rain. The weather is nice today. It's very hot today. It's a little cold today. I don't know this area. Can you show me the way? I think I'm lost. These are real sentences for real movement. You can use them while traveling, walking, texting someone, or asking for help. Now, let's practice a small outside situation. Imagine you are going to meet a friend. Before leaving, you say, I'm going outside. Then you send a message and say, I'm on my way. After some time, you are near the place. So you say, I'm almost there. But then you feel confused because you do not know the street. So you say, I don't know this area. Then you ask someone, can you show me the way? This is a complete real life moment. You started at home, moved outside, gave an update, felt confused, and asked for help. Now say these sentences again as if you are really in that moment. I'm going outside. I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I don't know this area. Can you show me the way? Now I want you to notice something important. You do not need to learn difficult English to start speaking. You need useful English. You need sentences that fit your real life. A sentence like, I need to hurry is simple, but you may use it many times. A sentence like, can you say that again? Is simple, but it can help you in a real conversation. A sentence like, I'm almost ready is simple, but it sounds natural and useful. So do not ignore small sentences. Small sentences are the building blocks of fluent speaking. When you know many small sentences and you can say them quickly, your English starts to feel easier. Let's finish this practice with a short daily speaking flow. Imagine you are describing the first part of your day in English. Say, I woke up early today. I felt a little sleepy. I washed my face and brushed my teeth. I got dressed and made breakfast. I needed to hurry because I didn't want to be late. Then I went outside. The weather was nice. I was on my way. I almost reached the place. Then I asked someone for help. Now listen to that flow again in a smooth way. I woke up early today. I felt a little sleepy. I washed my face and brushed my teeth. I got dressed and made breakfast. I needed to hurry because I didn't want to be late. Then I went outside. The weather was nice. I was on my way. I almost reached the place. Then I asked someone for help. This is how daily sentences become a real story. And when you can turn simple sentences into a story, you are not only repeating English, you are speaking English. Now let's continue with another very common part of daily life: shopping, buying things, and asking for what you need. Many English learners feel nervous in shops because they think they need long sentences, perfect grammar, or very advanced words. But in real life, shopping English is often short, clear, and simple. You can say, I'm just looking. You can say, how much is this? You can say, do you have this in another color? You can say, do you have a smaller size? You can say, do you have a bigger size? You can say, can I try this on? I'll take this one. You can say, that's too expensive. You can say, do you accept cards? You can say, can I pay in cash? You can say, can I get a receipt? You can say, I need a bag, please. You can say, I'm looking for something simple. You can say, I'm looking for a gift. You can say, I'll think about it. You can say, thank you for your help. These sentences are not difficult, but they are very useful because they help you complete a real task. Now imagine you walk into a small shop. A worker looks at you and asks if you need help. You do not want to buy anything immediately, so you say, I'm just looking. After a few minutes, you find something nice and ask, how much is this? Maybe you like it, but you want another color, so you ask, do you have this in another color? Maybe the price is high and you say, that's too expensive. Then you decide to buy something else and say, I'll take this one. At the end, you ask, do you accept cards? This is a real shopping conversation, and you can handle it with simple sentences. Let's practice this flow slowly. I'm just looking. How much is this? Do you have this in another color? That's too expensive. I'll take this one. Do you accept cards? Now say it again in a calm voice, as if you are really standing in a shop and speaking to a person. Now let's move to food and restaurant sentences. Food is a very common topic in daily life. You talk about food at home, at work, with friends, in restaurants, and when you are ordering something. So you need sentences that are easy to remember and easy to say. You can say, I'm hungry. You can say, I'm not very hungry. You can say, I want something light. You can say, I'm going to make lunch. You can say, what do you want to eat? You can say, I don't know what to eat. You can say, this looks delicious. You can say, this tastes really good. You can say, it's a little spicy. You can say, it's too salty. You can say, can I see the menu? You can say, I'd like to order, please. You can say, I'll have this one. You can say, can I get some water? You can say, can we have the bill, please? You can say, is this seat available? You can say, I have a reservation. You can say, we need a table for two. You can say, can you recommend something? You can say, that was a great meal. Now let's practice a restaurant situation. Imagine you enter a restaurant with a friend. You look around and ask, is this seat available? Then you sit down and say, can I see the menu? You look at the food and say, this looks delicious. You are not sure what to choose, so you ask, can you recommend something? Then you decide and say, I'll have this one. After eating, you say, that was a great meal. This kind of practice is important because it prepares you for real places. You are not just learning random sentences. You are learning sentences in the order you may actually need them. Now repeat the restaurant flow. Is this seat available? Can I see the menu? This looks delicious. Can you recommend something? I'll have this one. That was a great meal. Very good. When you practice sentences in a real order, your brain remembers them more easily. Now, let's practice sentences for talking with friends. Friendship English is not always formal. It is often casual, warm, and simple. You can say, how was your day? You can say, what are you doing? You can say, are you free today? You can say, do you want to go out? You can say, let's meet later. You can say, I'm happy to see you. You can say, it's been a long time. You can say, I miss talking to you. You can say, tell me what happened. You can say, that sounds interesting. You can say, that's really nice. You can say, I'm proud of you. You can say, don't worry about it. You can say, everything will be okay. You can say, I agree with you. You can say, I don't agree completely. You can say, I understand what you mean. You can say, let's talk about it later. You can say, thanks for listening. You can say, I'm always here for you. These sentences are important because real English is not only about asking directions, buying things, or ordering food. Real English is also about connection. When a friend tells you something, you need to react. If you only say, okay, again and again, the conversation may feel weak. But if you say, that sounds interesting, or I understand what you mean, or I'm proud of you, your English sounds more natural and more human. Let's practice a friend conversation. Your friend says, I had a difficult day. You can answer, I'm sorry to hear that. Then you can say, tell me what happened. After listening, you can say, I understand what you mean. Then you can say, don't worry about it. Everything will be okay. Now repeat these sentences slowly. I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me what happened. I understand what you mean. Don't worry about it. Everything will be okay. These sentences help you support someone in English. Now let's move to work, school, and daily responsibilities. Even if you are not working in an English environment, these sentences are useful because many people talk about tasks, plans, problems, and schedules every day. You can say, I have a lot of work today. You can say, I need to finish this. You can say, I'm working on it. You can say, I'm almost done. You can say, I need more time. You can say, can you help me with this? You can say, I have a question. You can say, can you explain this? You can say, I don't understand this part. You can say, let me check. You can say, I'll send it later. You can say, I'll call you back. You can say, I have a meeting today. You can say, the meeting starts at 10. You can say, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. You can say, can we talk later? You can say, I made a mistake. You can say, I'll fix it. You can say, thank you for your patience. You can say, I'll do my best. Now imagine you are at work or in class and someone asks you about a task. You can say, I'm working on it. If you need more time, you can say, I need more time. If you do not understand something, you can say, can you explain this? If you make a mistake, do not panic. You can say, I made a mistake. I'll fix it. These sentences are simple, but they show responsibility. They help you speak calmly even when you are under pressure. Now, let's practice this situation. I'm working on it. I need more time. Can you explain this? I made a mistake. I'll fix it. Thank you for your patience. Say it again. But this time, imagine you are speaking politely to a teacher, coworker, or manager. Now, let's practice phone and message sentences because today, many real conversations happen through calls and texts. You can say, can you hear me? You can say, I can't hear you clearly. You can say, the connection is bad. You can say, please call me back. You can say, I'll call you later. You can say, I missed your call. You can say, I just saw your message. You can say, sorry for the late reply. You can say, can you send me the details? You can say, I'll text you the address. You can say, please send me your location. You can say, I'm busy right now. You can say, can I call you in 10 minutes? You can say, let me check my schedule. You can say, I'll let you know soon. You can say, thanks for the update. You can say, I got your message. You can say, I'll be there soon. You can say, please don't forget. You can say, talk to you later. Now let's use these phone sentences in a real practice. Imagine someone calls you, but the sound is not clear. You say, I can't hear you clearly. Then you say, the connection is bad. You ask, can I call you in 10 minutes? Later, you see their message and say, sorry for the late reply. Then you say, I got your message. This is real communication. You are using English to manage a normal daily situation. Now repeat slowly. I can't hear you clearly. The connection is bad. Can I call you in 10 minutes? Means sorry for the late reply. I got your message. Good. These sentences are useful because they help you stay polite and clear. Now, let's finish this section with a daily life speaking challenge. I will give you a simple story using the sentences we practiced, and you can repeat it after me or listen first and then say your own version. Today, I went to the store because I needed to buy something. A worker asked if I needed help, and I said, I'm just looking. Then I found something nice and asked, how much is this? After that, I went to a restaurant with a friend. I said, can I see the menu? And then I asked, can you recommend something? Later, my friend told me about a difficult day, and I said, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me what happened. In the evening, someone called me, but the connection was bad. So I said, I can't hear you clearly. Can I call you later? This is real English. Simple sentences, real situations, natural speaking. And the more you practice like this, the more ready you become for everyday conversations. Now let's continue with sentences for asking questions because questions are one of the most important parts of real life English. Many learners can answer simple questions, but they feel nervous when they need to ask something. But questions do not need to be difficult. You can ask, what do you mean? You can ask, can you explain that? You can ask, where should I go? You can ask, what time does it start? You can ask, how long will it take? You can ask, can you help me? You can ask, is it okay if I sit here? You can ask, do you need anything? You can ask, are you ready? You can ask, can I ask you something? You can ask, what should I do now? You can ask, can you repeat that? You can ask, is this correct? You can ask, am I saying it right? You can ask, can I try again? These questions are very useful because they help you stay active in a conversation. When you know how to ask questions, you do not have to wait silently. You can guide the conversation, get information, and keep speaking. Let's practice a real question situation. Imagine someone gives you instructions in English, but you do not understand everything. You can say, can you explain that? Then you can ask, what should I do now? If you are still unsure, you can say, can you repeat that? Then you can check your understanding and ask, is this correct? These sentences help you learn while speaking. You do not need to pretend that you understand everything. In real communication, it is normal to ask again. Now, repeat these sentences slowly. Can you explain that? What should I do now? Can you repeat that? Is this correct? Can I try again? Very good. These questions are simple, but they make you stronger in real conversations. Now let's practice sentences for giving opinions. In daily life, people often ask what you think. They may ask about food, movies, work, plans, ideas, or decisions. You do not need advanced English to give an opinion. You can say, I think it's a good idea. You can say, I don't think so. You can say, I'm not sure about that. You can say, I like it. You can say, I don't really like it. You can say, it depends. You can say, that sounds good to me. You can say, that doesn't sound right. You can say, I prefer this one. You can say, I agree with you. You can say, I understand your point. You can say, in my opinion, it's better this way. You can say, maybe we should try something different. You can say, that makes sense. You can say, I need to think about it. These sentences help you sound natural because real conversations are not only about facts, They are also about thoughts, preferences, and reactions. Now imagine your friend asks, "Do you want to eat here?" You can answer, "That sounds good to me." If they suggest another place and you do not like it, you can say, "I don't really like it." If you need more time, you can say, "I need to think about it." If you agree with their idea, you can say, "That makes sense." Let's repeat these opinion sentences together. That sounds good to me. I don't really like it. I need to think about it. That makes sense. Maybe we should try something different. Now say them again with feeling, as if you are really sharing your opinion with a friend. You do not need to speak fast. Speak clearly and calmly. Now let's move to sentences for problems and solutions. Real life is not always smooth. Sometimes you lose something. Sometimes you are late. Sometimes something breaks. Sometimes you do not understand. So you need English that helps you explain problems without panic. You can say, "I have a problem." You can say, "Something is wrong." You can say, "I lost my phone." You can say, "I can't find my wallet." You can say, "My phone battery is low." You can say, "My internet is not working." You can say, "I forgot my password." You can say, "I missed the bus." You can say, "I'm late for work." You can say, "I don't know what happened." You can say, "Can you help me fix this?" You can say, "Let me try again." You can say, "I'll find another way." You can say, "It's not a big problem." You can say, "Everything is okay now." These sentences are important because they help you stay calm. When you can explain a problem in English, the problem feels smaller. Let's practice a problem situation. Imagine your internet stops working while you are trying to send a message. You can say, "My internet is not working." Then you check your phone and say, "My phone battery is low." You feel worried, but you stay calm and say, "Let me try again." After a few minutes, it works, and you say, "Everything is okay now." Now repeat this slowly. "My internet is not working. My phone battery is low. Let me try again. Everything is okay now." This practice is useful because real English is not only for perfect situations. You also need English for small problems. Now let's practice polite sentences. Polite English is very important because it helps you sound respectful and natural. You can say, "Please give me a moment." You can say, "Could you help me, please?" You can say, "Would you mind repeating that?" You can say, "Sorry to bother you." You can say, "Excuse me, can I ask something?" You can say, "Thank you so much." You can say, "I really appreciate it." You can say, "That's very kind of you." You can say, "No problem at all." You can say, "Don't worry about it." You can say, "It's okay." You can say, "I'm sorry for the mistake." You can say, "I didn't mean that." You can say, "I'll be more careful next time." You can say, "Thanks for understanding." These sentences are short, but they make your English sound softer and more professional. Now imagine you need help from someone you do not know. You can start with, "Excuse me, can I ask something?" Then you can say, "Could you help me, please?" If they help you, you can say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." If you make a mistake, you can say, "I'm sorry for the mistake. I'll be more careful next time." Let's practice this polite flow. "Excuse me, can I ask something? Could you help me, please?" "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the mistake. I'll be more careful next time." Good. Polite sentences are useful everywhere: in shops, at work, in class, on the phone, and with people you meet for the first time. Now let's practice sentences for making plans. Plans are part of daily life. You make plans with friends, family, coworkers, classmates, and sometimes even with yourself. You can say, "What are you doing tomorrow?" You can say, "Are you free this evening?" You can say, "Let's meet after work." You can say, "Let's go for a walk." You can say, "We can talk later." You can say, "I have plans today." You can say, "I'm free after 5." You can say, "I can't come today." You can say, "Maybe next time." You can say, "Let's choose another day." You can say, "What time works for you?" You can say, "That time works for me." You can say, "I'll be there on time." You can say, "Please remind me." You can say, "I'm looking forward to it." These sentences help you arrange simple things in English, and they are very common in real life. Let's practice a planning situation. Imagine you want to meet a friend. You say, "Are you free this evening?" Your friend says yes. So you say, "Let's meet after work." Then you ask, "What time works for you?" Your friend says 6 o'clock, and you answer, "That time works for me." Then you finish with, "I'm looking forward to it." Now repeat the whole flow. "Are you free this evening?" "Let's meet after work." "What time works for you?" "That time works for me." "I'm looking forward to it." Very good. These are exactly the kinds of sentences that help you sound natural in everyday English. Now let's finish with a complete real life speaking practice using many of the sentences we learned today. Listen first, then try to repeat it in your own voice. Yesterday, I had a busy day. In the morning, I needed to hurry because I was late. I could not find my wallet, so I said, "I can't find my wallet." Then I checked my bag and found it. After that, I went outside and waited for the bus. The bus was late, so I called my friend and said, "I'm on my way, but the bus is late." Later, I went to a shop and asked, "How much is this?" Then I met my friend at a restaurant and said, "Can I see the menu?" We talked about our plans, and I asked, "Are you free this evening?" My friend said yes, so I said, "Let's meet after work." At the end of the day, I felt happy because I used many simple English sentences in real life. This is what I want for you, my friend. Do not wait for perfect English. Start with useful sentences. Practice them again and again. Use them in small moments. Slowly, your English will become faster, smoother, and more natural. Now let's continue with sentences for health, comfort, and daily needs, because these are very common in real life. Sometimes you feel tired, sometimes you feel sick, sometimes you need water, rest, medicine, help, or a short break. In these moments, simple English is very useful. You can say, "I don't feel well." You can say, "I have a headache." You can say, "My stomach hurts." You can say, "I feel dizzy." You can say, "Answer, I need some water." You can say, "I need to sit down." You can say, "I need to rest for a while." You can say, "I think I need medicine." You can say, "I should see a doctor." You can say, "I feel better now." You can say, "I'm feeling much better." You can say, "I need more sleep." You can say, "I'm too tired to go out." You can say, "I need a short break." You can say, "Please give me a moment." These sentences are not complicated, but they help you explain your condition clearly. When you can describe how you feel in English, you become more confident in real situations. Let's practice a simple health situation. Imagine you are with a friend, but suddenly you do not feel well. You can say, "I don't feel well." Your friend asks what happened, and you say, "I have a headache." Then you say, "I need some water." After sitting for a few minutes, you say, "I feel better now." Now repeat these sentences slowly. "I don't feel well. I have a headache. I need some water. I feel better now." This kind of practice prepares you for real life because health sentences are not only useful in hospitals or clinics, they are useful at home, at work, at school, while traveling, and anywhere you need to explain yourself. Now let's practice sentences for daily chores and responsibilities. These sentences help you talk about normal tasks, and they are very important if you want to describe your day naturally. You can say, I need to clean the house. You can say, I have to do the laundry. You can say, I need to fold the clothes. You can say, I'll take out the trash. You can say, I need to organize my desk. You can say, I have to pay the bill. You can say, I need to charge my phone. You can say, I forgot to turn off the light. You can say, I need to lock the door. You can say, I have to check my email. You can say, I need to reply to this message. You can say, I have to finish this task. You can say, I'll do it later. You can say, I'll do it now. You can say, I'm done with this. These sentences are useful because real life is full of small responsibilities. When you can talk about them in English, your English becomes connected to your routine. Let's use these sentences in a natural daily routine. You look around your room and say, I need C to clean the house. Then you see your clothes and say, I have to do the laundry. You check your phone and say, I need to charge my phone. Then you remember an important message and say, I need to reply to this message. After finishing the task, you say, I'm done with this. Now repeat the flow. I need to clean the house. I have to do the laundry. I need to charge my phone. I need to reply to this message. I'm done with this. This is useful practice because it trains you to speak about simple actions in order. Now let's move to sentences for travel, movement, and public places. Even if you do not travel to another country, you may still need English for buses, taxis, stations, airports, hotels, streets, and public places. You can say, where is the nearest bus stop? You can say, how much is the ticket? You can say, what time does the bus leave? Mm. You can say, is this seat taken? You can say, I need to get off here. You can say, please stop here. You can say, how long does it take to get there? You can say, I have a booking. You can say, I'd like to check in. You can say, I'd like to check out. You can say, can I have the key, please? You can say, is breakfast included? You can say, where is the restroom? You can say, where can I charge my phone? You can say, I need some help. You can say, I'm looking for this address. You can say, can you write it down for me? You can say, can you speak a little slower? These sentences help you move through real places with more confidence. Now imagine you are in a new city. You are trying to find your way. You ask, where is the nearest bus stop? Then you ask, how much is the ticket? When you get on the bus, you ask, is this seat taken? Later, you need to leave the bus, so you say, I need to get off here. Then you reach your hotels and say, I have a booking. I'd like to check in. This is a complete travel situation. Now repeat it slowly. Where is the nearest bus stop? How much is the ticket? Is this seat taken? I need to get off here. I have a booking. I'd like to check in. Very good. You are practicing useful English that can help you in real public situations. Now let's practice sentences for online life and technology. Because today we use phones, apps, websites, passwords, messages, and emails almost every day. You can say, my phone is not working. You can say, the app is not opening. You can say, I forgot my password. You can say, I need to reset my password. You can say, the page is loading slowly. You can say, I can't log in. You can say, can you send me the link? You can say, I'll send you the file. You can say, please check your email. You can say, I didn't receive the message. You can say, the video is not playing. You can say, the sound is not clear. You can say, my camera is off. You can say, I'll join in a minute. You can say, I'm having a technical problem. These sentences are very useful because technology problems happen all the time and you need clear English to explain them. Let's practice a simple technology situation. You are trying to join an online meeting, but the app is not opening. You say, the app is not opening. Then you try again and say, I can't log in. You ask someone, can you send me the link? When you finally enter, you say, I'm having a technical problem. Then you say, I'll join in a minute. Now repeat these sentences. The app is not opening. I can't log in. Can you send me the link? I'm having a technical problem. I'll join in a minute. These sentences help you stay calm and clear when something goes wrong. Now let's practice sentences for ending conversations naturally. Many learners know how to start a conversation, but they do not always know how to end it politely. You can say, it was nice talking to you. You can say, I have to go now. You can say, I'll talk to you later. You can say, see you soon. You can say, take care. You can say, have a great day. You can say, thanks for your time. You can say, let's continue this later. You can say, I'll message you later. You can say, I'm glad we talked. These sentences are simple, polite, and natural. They help you finish a conversation without sounding rude or awkward. Now let's finish this practice with one longer daily English flow. Listen first, then repeat in your own voice. Today, I had many small things to do. In the morning, I cleaned my room and did the laundry. Then I checked my phone, but the app was not opening. I said, I'm having a technical problem, and tried again. Later, I went outside and asked, where is the nearest bus stop? I bought a ticket and got on the bus. When I reached my place, I said, I need to get off here. In the afternoon, I felt tired and said, I need a short break. After resting, I felt better and finished my work. In the evening, I talked to a friend and said, it was nice talking to you. I'll talk to you later. This is Daily English. It is simple, useful, and connected to real life. Practice these sentences often, say them out loud, and slowly your English will become more natural in the moments when you really need it. Now, let's continue with sentences for talking about your past, because real conversations often include things that already happened. When someone asks about your day, your weekend, your work, your trip, or your experience, you need simple past sentences. You can say, I woke up early. You can say, I left home late. You can say, I met a friend. You can say, I went to the store. You can say, I bought some food. You can say, I called my brother. You can say, I watched a movie. You can say, I cleaned my room. You can say, I finished my work. You can say, I forgot my keys. You can say, I missed the bus. You can say, I learned something new. You can say, I had a good time. You can say, I didn't enjoy it. You can say, it was better than I expected. These sentences help you tell short stories. And when you can tell short stories, your English becomes more useful because real people do not only speak in single sentences, they connect sentences together. Let's practice a simple past story. Say it slowly. I woke up early. I made breakfast. I went outside. I met a friend. We had a good time. Now let's make it a little longer. Yesterday, I woke up early because I had many things to do. I made breakfast, cleaned my room, and went outside. Later, I difficult English, but it sounds like real communication. You are using past sentences to explain what happened. Now, try to repeat the story in your own voice, slowly and clearly. Do not worry about perfection. Focus on connection. Now let's practice sentences for talking about the future. You need future sentences every day because you talk about plans, intentions, hopes, and next steps. You can say, I'm going to call you later. You can say, I'll do it tomorrow. You can say, I'm going to visit my friend. You can say, I'll check it later. You can say, I'm going to start soon. You can say, I'll be there on time. You can say, I'm going to learn more English. You can say, I'll practice again tonight. You can say, I'm going to sleep early. You can say, I'll think about it. You can say, I'm going to make a plan. You can say, I'll let you know. You can say, I'm going to try my best. You can say, I'll see you tomorrow. You can say, everything will be fine. These sentences are useful because they help you talk about what comes next. Let's practice a future situation. Imagine someone asks, what are you going to do today? You can answer, I'm going to finish my work. Then you can say, I'll call my friend later. Then you can say, I'm going to practice English tonight. Now say it in a smooth way. Today, I'm going to finish my work. I'll call my friend later, and I'm going to practice English tonight. This is a strong daily sentence flow because it helps you explain your plan in simple English. Now repeat it again with confidence. Today, I'm going to finish my work. I'll call my friend later, and I'm going to practice English tonight. Now let's move to sentences for invitations and social plans. These sentences help you talk with friends, coworkers, classmates, and family members. You can say, do you want to come with me? You can say, would you like to join us? You can say, let's have lunch together. You can say, let's go somewhere quiet. You can say, do you want to watch a movie? You can say, can we meet tomorrow? You can say, I'd love to come. You can say, that sounds fun. You can say, I'm sorry, I can't make it. You can say, maybe another time. You can say, thanks for inviting me. You can say, I already have plans. You can say, let me check first. You can say, I'll tell you soon. You can say, I'm excited to meet everyone. These sentences help you accept, refuse, and arrange plans politely. Now let's practice an invitation conversation in paragraph form. Your friend says, do you want to have lunch together? You can say, that sounds fun. If you are free, you can say, I'd love to come. If you are busy, you can say, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Maybe another time. If you are not sure, you can say, let me check first. I'll tell you soon. Now repeat these useful responses. That sounds fun. I'd love to come. I'm sorry, I can't make it. Maybe another time? Let me check first. I'll tell you soon. These sentences are important because they help you respond naturally instead of feeling stuck. Now let's practice sentences for apologies and small mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, so you need English that helps you stay polite and calm. You can say, I'm sorry. You can say, sorry about that. You can say, I made a mistake. You can say, that was my fault. You can say, I didn't mean to do that. You can say, I forgot to tell you. You can say, I'm sorry I'm late. You can say, I'm sorry for the confusion. You can say, please forgive me. You can say, I'll fix it. You can say, it won't happen again. You can say, thanks for your patience. You can say, I should have been more careful. You can say, let me correct that. You can say, I understand now. These sentences help you handle mistakes in a mature way. So let's practice a mistake situation. Imagine you arrive late to meet someone. You can say, I'm sorry I'm late. Then you explain simply, I missed the bus. Then you say, thanks for your patience. Now imagine you sent the wrong message. You can say, sorry about that. I made a mistake. Let me correct that. These short sentences sound natural, responsible, and polite. Now repeat them slowly. I'm sorry I'm late. I missed the bus. Thanks for your patience. Sorry about that. I made a mistake. Let me correct that. Good. When you practice apology sentences, you become less afraid of mistakes because you know how to respond. Now, let's move to sentences for encouragement and support. These are beautiful daily English sentences because they help you speak kindly to other people. You can say you can do it. You can say don't give up. You can say keep trying. You can say I believe in you. You can say you're doing great. You can say that's a good start. You can say you are improving. You can say take your time. You can say don't worry. You can say it's okay to make mistakes. You can say I'm here to help. You can say you handled that well. You can say I'm proud of you. You can say everything will be okay. You can say just take one step at a time. These sentences are useful with friends, family, students, coworkers, and even with yourself. Now practice speaking kindly to yourself in English. Say, I can do it. Say, I am improving. Say, it's okay to make mistakes. Say, I will keep trying. Say, I just need more practice. These sentences may sound simple, but they can change how you feel when you practice English. Many learners speak to themselves in a negative way. They say, my English is bad, or I can't speak. But today, replace those sentences with better ones. Say, I am learning. Say, I am getting better. Say, I can speak more than before. This is not just motivation. This is language practice and confidence training together. Now, let's finish this section with a complete daily speaking flow using past, future, invitations, apologies, and support. Listen first, then repeat in your own voice. Yesterday, I woke up early and finished my work. Later, I met a friend and we had lunch together. My friend invited me to watch a movie, and I said, that sounds fun. I'd love to come. But then I realized I had another plan, so I said, I'm sorry, I can't make it. In the evening, I practiced English and told myself, I am improving. It's okay to make mistakes. I will keep trying. Tomorrow, I'm going to practice again, and I'll try to use more English in my daily life. This is how real progress happens, my friend. You take simple sentences, connect them with real situations, and speak them again and again until they become natural. Now let's continue with sentences for expressing likes, dislikes, choices, and preferences, because this is something you need in daily conversations all the time. People may ask what food you like, what kind of music you enjoy, what time works for you, what place you prefer, or what you want to do. If you can answer with simple, clear sentences, your English will sound more natural. You can say, I like this. You can say, I really like this place. You can say, I don't like this very much. You can say, I prefer this one. You can say, I prefer tea to coffee. You can say, I like quiet places. You can say, I enjoy walking in the evening. You can say, I love spending time with my family. You can say, I don't enjoy crowded places. You can say, I'm interested in learning new things. You can say, I'm not interested in that. You can say, this is my favorite. You can say, that is not really my style. You can say, I would choose this one. You can say, I'm okay with either option. These sentences help you talk about yourself in a simple and natural way. Let's practice a preference situation. Imagine your friend asks, do you want tea or coffee? You can say, I prefer tea to coffee. Then your friend asks, do you want to sit inside or outside? You can say, I like quiet places, so let's sit outside. Maybe your friend suggests a busy restaurant, and you say, I don't enjoy crowded places. These sentences are useful because they help you make choices without sounding rude. Now repeat these sentences slowly. I prefer tea to coffee. I like quiet places. I don't enjoy crowded places. I'm okay with either option. I would choose this one. Good. You are learning how to express yourself clearly and politely. Now let's practice sentences for describing people, places, and things. In real life, you often need to describe what you see, what you like, what happened, or what someone is like. You can say, he is very kind. You can say, she is easy to talk to. You can say, they are very helpful. You can say, this place is beautiful. You can say, the room is clean. You can say, the street is busy. You can say, the weather is perfect. You can say, the food is fresh. You can say, the bag is too heavy. You can say, this phone is easy to use. You can say, that idea is interesting. You can say, this work is difficult. You can say, the lesson is useful. You can say, the movie was funny. You can say, the meeting was long. These sentences help you add details to your speaking. Details make your English stronger because they help people understand your experience. Now imagine you are telling someone about your day. You can say, the weather was perfect. Then you can say, the street was busy. Then you can say, I met a friend and she was easy to talk to. Then you can say, we had lunch and the food was fresh. This sounds natural because you are not only saying what happened, you are describing it. Now repeat this short speaking flow. The weather was perfect. The street was busy. I met a friend and she was easy to talk to. We had lunch and the food was fresh. Very good. When you describe simple things, your English becomes more colorful and more complete. Now let's move to sentences for asking permission, because permission sentences are very useful in polite daily English. You can say, can I sit here? You can say, can I use your phone? You can say, can I open the window? You can say, can I ask you a question? You can say, can I borrow this? You can say, can I leave early today? You can say, can I call you later? You can say, can I take a short break? You can say, is it okay if I come with you? You can say, is it okay if I use this chair? You can say, is it okay if I wait here? You can say, do you mind if I sit next to you? You can say, would it be okay to ask for help? These sentences are polite and useful because they show respect. They help you ask for something without sounding too direct. Let's practice a permission situation. Imagine you are in a waiting room and there is an empty chair. You can ask, can I sit here? If you need to use someone's phone, you can ask, can I use your phone? If you are tired, you can ask, can I take a short break? If you want to join someone, you can ask, is it okay if I come with you? Now repeat these sentences slowly. Can I sit here? Can I use your phone? Can I take a short break? Is it okay if I come with you? Good. These small questions can help you feel more confident in public places, at work, in class, or with friends. Now let's practice sentences for offering help. Real communication is not only about asking for help. Sometimes you also want to help someone else. You can say, "Do you need help?" You can say, "Can I help you?" You can say, "Let me help you." You can say, "I can carry that." You can say, "I can show you." You can say, "I can explain it." You can say, "I can do it for you." You can say, "I'll help you in a minute." You can say, "Tell me what you need." You can say, "I'm happy to help." You can say, "Don't worry, I can handle it." You can say, "Let's do it together." These sentences are warm and useful. They make your English more friendly because they help you respond to other people's needs. Now imagine someone is carrying a heavy bag. You can say, "Let me help you." Maybe someone does not understand something and you can say, "I can explain it." Maybe someone looks confused and you can ask, "Do you need help?" These sentences are simple, but they show kindness. Now repeat this help flow. "Do you need help? Let me help you. I can explain it. Tell me what you need. I'm happy to help." Very good. When you practice helpful sentences, your English becomes more useful in real human situations. Now let's practice sentences for making requests. A request is when you ask someone to do something for you. In daily life, requests are everywhere. You can say, "Please wait a moment." You can say, "Please send me the address." You can say, "Please call me when you arrive." You can say, "Please speak more slowly." You can say, "Please write it down." You can say, "Please open the door." You can say, "Please turn off the light." You can say, "Please remind me later." You can say, "Please check this for me." You can say, "Please tell me the truth." You can say, "Please don't forget." You can say, "Please let me know." You can say, "Could you give me a minute?" You can say, "Could you send it again?" These sentences help you ask clearly and politely. Let's practice a request situation. Imagine you are planning to meet someone, but you do not know the place. You can say, "Please send me the address." Then you can say, "Please let me know when you arrive." If they speak too fast, you can say, "Please speak more slowly." If you need more time, you can say, "Could you give me a minute?" Now repeat these request sentences. "Please send me the address." "Please let me know when you arrive." "Please speak more slowly." "Could you give me a minute?" "Please don't forget." Good. These requests are very practical, and you can use them in messages, calls, and face to face conversations. Now, let's finish with a full daily English speaking flow using choices, descriptions, permission, help, and requests. Listen first, then try to repeat in your own voice. "Today, I met a friend at a quiet cafe. I said, 'I like quiet places.' And my friend said, 'That sounds good to me.' The cafe was clean, the food was fresh, and the weather was perfect. When we arrived, I asked, 'Can I sit here?' Then I saw my friend carrying a heavy bag. So I said, 'Let me help you.' Later, I needed the address for another place. So I said, 'Please send me the address.' My friend spoke quickly, and I said, 'Please speak more slowly.' At the end, I said, 'Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it.' This is how daily English works. You choose, describe, ask, help, request, and respond. You do not need complicated English to speak well in real life. You need useful sentences, clear practice, and the confidence to use them again and again. Now, let's continue with sentences for talking about time, because time is part of almost every daily conversation. You talk about when something starts, when something ends, when you are free, when you are busy, when you will arrive, and when you need to leave. If you can speak about time clearly, your daily English becomes much stronger. You can say, "What time is it?" You can say, "It's almost 8." You can say, "I'm early today." You can say, "I'm late today." You can say, "I'll be there soon." You can say, "I'll be there in 10 minutes." You can say, "I need a few more minutes." You can say, "I don't have much time." You can say, "I have enough time." You can say, "The class starts at 9." You can say, "The meeting starts soon." You can say, "Let's meet at 5." You can say, "Can we meet later?" You can say, "I'm free after lunch." You can say, "I'm busy until evening." You can say, "I waited for a long time." You can say, "It took longer than I expected." You can say, "I'll finish it before tonight." These sentences help you explain time in a natural and useful way. Let's practice a time situation. Imagine you are going to meet someone, but you are not ready yet. You can say, "I need a few more minutes." Then you check the time and say, "I don't have much time." You send a message and say, "I'll be there in 10 minutes." When you arrive, you say, "Sorry, it took longer than I expected." Now repeat sentences slowly. "I need a few more minutes." "I don't have much time." "I'll be there in 10 minutes." "It took longer than I expected." These sentences are very practical because time problems happen in real life all the time. When you can speak about them calmly, you sound more confident. Now let's practice sentences for talking about money and payment. These sentences are useful in shops, restaurants, markets, taxis, hotels, and many other places. You can say, "How much does it cost?" You can say, "That's a good price." You can say, "That's too expensive for me." You can say, "Do you have anything cheaper?" You can say, "Can I pay by card?" You can say, "Can I pay in cash?" You can say, "Do you accept online payment?" You can say, "I need some change." You can say, "Can you give me a receipt?" You can say, "I paid already." You can say, "I think the price is wrong." You can say, "Can you check the bill?" You can say, "Let's split the bill." You can say, "This is my treat." You can say, "I'll pay this time." These sentences help you handle money situations without stress. Now, imagine you are at a cafe with a friend. You look at the menu and ask, "How much does it cost?" Your friend chooses something, and you say, "That's a good price." After eating, you ask, "Can you check the bill?" Then you say, "Let's split the bill." Maybe you want to be kind, so you say, "This is my treat." Now repeat this payment flow. "How much does it cost?" "That's a good price." "Can you check the bill?" "Let's split the bill." "This is my treat." Good. These are small sentences, but they are very useful in real social situations. Now let's move to sentences for talking about weather and seasons. Weather is one of the easiest topics for small talk, and it is useful everywhere. You can say, "It's sunny today." You can say, "It's cloudy today." You can say, "It's raining outside." You can say, "It's very windy." You can say, "It's too hot today." You can say, "It's getting cold." You can say, "The weather is changing." You can say, "It looks like rain." You can say, "I forgot my umbrella." You can say, "The air feels fresh." You can say, "It's a beautiful day." You can say, "I love this weather." You can say, "I don't like hot weather." You can say, "Winter is my favorite season." You can say, "I prefer cool weather." These sentences help you start simple conversations, describe your day, and react to what is happening around you. Let's practice a weather conversation. Imagine you meet someone outside. You can say, "It's a beautiful day." If the sky is dark, you can say, "It looks like rain." If you feel cold, you can say, "It's getting cold." If you like the weather, you can say, I love this weather. Now repeat these sentences slowly. It's a beautiful day. It looks like rain. It's getting cold. I love this weather. Now make it a short story. Today it was cloudy in the morning, but later the weather became nice. The air felt fresh, and I said, this is natural English because you are describing something real and easy to understand. Now let's practice sentences for small talk with people you do not know very well. Small talk can feel difficult, but it becomes easier when you know simple opening sentences. You can say, how's your day going? You can say, nice to meet you. You can say, I've heard a lot about you. You can say, do you come here often? You can say, this place is nice. You can say, the weather is great today. You can say, are you from around here? You can say, what do you do? You can say, that sounds interesting. You can say, how long have you been doing that? You can say, it was nice meeting you. You can say, I hope we meet again. These sentences are useful because they help you start and continue light conversations without pressure. Now imagine you meet someone new at a class or event. You can start with, nice to meet you. Then you can ask, are you from around here? They answer, and you say, that sounds interesting. Then you ask, what do you do? At the end, you say, it was nice meeting you. This is a simple but complete small talk flow. Now repeat it slowly. Nice to meet you. Are you from around here? That sounds interesting. What do you do? It was nice meeting you. Very good. You do not need to force a long conversation. A few simple sentences can make you sound friendly and confident. Now let's practice sentences for expressing needs and wants. In daily life, you often need to say what you need, what you want, and what you do not want. You can say, I need help. You can say, I need more information. You can say, I need a quiet place. You can say, I need something to eat. You can say, I need to rest. You can say, I want to learn more. You can say, I want to try this. You can say, I want to go home. You can say, I don't want to wait. You can say, I don't want to argue. You can say, I just want to understand. You can say, I need to talk to someone. You can say, I want to improve my English. You can say, I need regular practice. These sentences are powerful because they help you speak directly and clearly about yourself. Now let's practice a needs and wants flow. Imagine you are tired after a long day. You say, I need to rest. Then you feel hungry and say, I need something to eat. Later, you think about your English and say, I want to improve my English. Then you make a simple decision and say, I need regular practice. Now repeat this flow. I need to rest. I need something to eat. I want to improve my English. I need regular practice. These sentences may be simple, but they are very important because they help you talk about your real needs. Now let's finish with a full daily speaking practice using time, money, weather, small talk, and needs. Listen first, then repeat in your own voice. This morning, I was a little late, so I said, I don't have much time. I sent a message to my friend and said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. When I arrived, the weather was beautiful, and I said, it's a beautiful day. We went to a cafe, looked at the menu, and I asked, how much does it cost? After eating, I said, let's split the bill. Later, I met someone new and said, nice to meet you. We talked for a few minutes, and I said, that sounds interesting. In the evening, I felt tired and said, I need to rest. Then I practiced English and told myself, I want to improve my English, and I need regular practice. This is the power of daily sentences. They help you speak about time, money, weather, people, feelings, and needs. Keep practicing them in real situations, and slowly your English will become easier, faster, and more natural. Now, let's continue with sentences for talking about daily routines in a smoother way. Earlier, we practiced many individual sentences, but now I want you to learn how to connect them naturally. In real life, people do not always speak in separate short sentences. They often connect ideas with words like then, after that, later, before, because, and so. For example, instead of only saying, I woke up early, you can say, I woke up early because I had a lot to do. Instead of only saying, I went outside, you can say, after breakfast, I went outside. So instead of only saying, I was tired, you can say, I was tired. So I took a short break. These small connecting words make your English sound more natural and more complete. Let's practice some connected daily sentences. I woke up early because I had work. I brushed my teeth before breakfast. I made tea and then checked my phone. After breakfast, I got ready to leave. I was late, so I took a taxi. I finished my work and then called my friend. I felt tired, so I rested for a while. After dinner, I watched a short video. Before sleeping, I practiced English. I was busy, but I still studied for 10 minutes. These sentences are useful because as they help you tell a real story about your day. You are not only saying what happened, you are showing the order of events. Now let's practice a routine flow. Listen first. This morning, I woke up early because I wanted to start my day calmly. I washed my face, brushed my teeth, and then made breakfast. After breakfast, I checked my phone and replied to a message. I had some work to finish, so I sat down and focused for 1 hour. Later, I felt tired, so I took a short break. In the evening, I practiced English before sleeping. Now try to repeat the same flow in your own voice. Speak slowly. Do not rush. The goal is not speed. The goal is control. When you can speak slowly with control, speed will come naturally later. Now let's practice sentences for explaining reasons. In real conversations, people often ask why. Why are you late? Why are you tired? Why did you leave early? Why do you want to learn English? So you need simple reason sentences. You can say, because I was busy. You can say, because I didn't have time. You can say, because I was tired. You can say, because I missed the bus. You can say, because I had work. You can say, because I forgot. You can say, because I needed help. You can say, because I wanted to try something new. You can say, because it was important. You can say, because I want to improve. These sentences are short, but they help you explain yourself clearly. Let's practice a question and answer exercise in paragraph form. If someone asks, why are you late? You can answer, because I missed the bus. If someone asks, why are you tired? You can answer, because I didn't sleep well last night. If someone asks, why are you studying English? You can answer, because I want to improve my speaking. If someone asks, why did you call me? You can answer, because I needed your help. Now repeat the answers slowly. Because I missed the bus. Because I didn't sleep well last night. Because I want to improve my speaking. Because I needed your help. These are simple answers, but they are very useful in daily life. Now let's practice sentences for comparing things. Comparisons help you talk about choices, opinions, and daily experiences. You can say, this is better. You can say, that one is cheaper. You can say, this place is quieter. You can say, this road is faster. You can say, today is busier than yesterday. You can say, this food is better than I expected. You can say, this lesson is easier than the last one. You can say, this bag is heavier than mine. You can say, the weather is nicer today. You can say, I feel better than before. These sentences help you give more detail when you speak. Now imagine you are choosing between two cafes. You can say, this place is quieter. You can say, that place is cheaper. You can say, this food looks better. You can say, let's choose this one. Now imagine you are talking about your English. You can say, I feel better than before. You can say, speaking is easier than it was last month. You can say, I understand more than before. These sentences are very useful because they help you notice progress. Now repeat them slowly. I feel better than before. Speaking is easier than it was last month. I understand more than before. This lesson is easier than the last one. Good. You are practicing comparison in a simple and natural way. Now, let's move to sentences for describing frequency, because daily life is full of repeated actions. You do some things every day, some things often, some things sometimes, and some things almost never. You can say, I practice English every day. You can say, I usually wake up early. You can say, I often drink tea in the morning. You can say, I sometimes go for a walk. You can say, I rarely eat outside. You can say, I almost never sleep late. You can say, I always check my messages. You can say, I usually study at night. You can say, I sometimes forget new words. You can say, I often repeat sentences out loud. These sentences help you talk about your habits. Let's practice a habit paragraph. I usually wake up early, but sometimes I sleep a little late. I often drink tea in the morning, and I usually check my messages after breakfast. I practice English every day because I want to speak more naturally. Sometimes I forget new words, but I always try again. Now repeat this paragraph slowly. This is a very useful practice because you are talking about routine, frequency, and motivation together. If you can talk about your habits, you can speak about your life in a more natural way. Now let's practice sentences for making your English sound softer. Sometimes direct sentences can sound too strong, so we use softer phrases. Instead of saying, I want water, you can say, I'd like some water. Instead of saying, give me time, you can say, could you give me a moment? Instead of saying, repeat, you can say, could you repeat that, please? Instead of saying, I don't understand, you can say, I'm not sure I understand. These small changes make your English sound more polite and comfortable. Let's practice these softer sentences. I'd like some water. Could you give me a moment? Could you repeat that, please? I'm not sure I understand. Would you mind speaking more slowly? Could you help me with this? I'd like to ask a question. I'm not sure about this. Now imagine you are speaking with someone in a polite situation. You do not need to feel nervous. You can start with, I'm not sure I understand. Then you can ask, could you repeat that, please? If you need time, you can say, could you give me a moment? These sentences help you stay respectful and confident. Now let's finish with a complete practice flow. Listen first, then try to repeat it in your own words. I usually start my day early because I like quiet mornings. After I wake up, I wash my face, brush my teeth, and make something light for breakfast. I often check my messages, but I try not to waste too much time on my phone. Today, I was busier than usual, so I needed to hurry. I missed the bus because I left home late, but I stayed calm and took a taxi. Later, I practiced English for a few minutes because I want to improve my speaking. Sometimes I make mistakes, but I feel better than before. I understand more than before, and speaking is slowly becoming easier. This is how you should practice, my friend. Take simple daily sentences, connect them with reasons, habits, comparisons, and polite expressions. And slowly, your English will start to sound more complete, more natural, and more real. Now, let's complete this practice with sentences that help you speak more naturally in real conversations. By now, you have practiced many daily sentences for home, outside, shopping, food, friends, work, travel, time, weather, money, feelings, plans, problems, and routines. But real speaking is not only about knowing sentences, it is also about choosing the right sentence at the right moment. When someone asks you something, you need to respond. When you do not understand, you need to ask again. When you need time, you need to say it. When you agree, disagree, explain, or continue the conversation, you need simple English that comes quickly. So now let's practice useful conversation sentences that help you sound calm, clear, and natural. You can say, "That's interesting." You can say, "I know what you mean." You can say, "I'm not sure about that." You can say, "Let me think for a second." You can say, "That makes sense." You can say, "I never thought about it that way." You can say, "Can you give me an example?" You can say, "I see your point." You can say, "I agree with you." You can say, "I don't agree completely." You can say, "That's a good question." You can say, "I need more practice." You can say, "I'm still learning." You can say, "I'll try to explain." You can say, "Let me say it another way." These sentences are useful because they help you stay inside the conversation. You do not have to stop speaking just because you need time or because you are not sure. You can use simple sentences to keep going. Let's practice a real conversation moment. Imagine someone asks you a question in English and you understand the question, but you need a little time to answer. Instead of becoming silent, you can say, "That's a good question." Then you can say, "Let me think for a second." If you are not sure, you can say, "I'm not sure about that." If you want to explain more clearly, you can say, "Let me say it another way." Now repeat this flow slowly. "That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'm not sure about that. Let me say it another way." These sentences are very powerful because they give your brain time while your mouth continues speaking English. Now let's practice sentences for correcting yourself. Many learners are afraid of mistakes, but mistakes are normal. A confident speaker is not someone who never makes mistakes. A confident speaker knows how to fix mistakes and continue. You can say, "Sorry." Let me say that again. You can say, "I mean." You can say, "What I wanted to say is." You can say, "That's not exactly what I meant." You can say, "Let me correct myself." You can say, "I said it wrong." You can say, "I'm trying to say that." You can say, "The word I need is." You can say, "I forgot the word." You can say, "How do you say this in English?" These sentences help you continue even when your English is not perfect. Let's practice a correction situation. Imagine you say a sentence, but you know it is not clear. You can say, "Sorry, let me say that again." Then you can say, "What I wanted to say is," and continue with your idea. If you forget a word, you can say, "I forgot the word," or "The word I need is." This is real speaking. Even fluent speakers pause, correct themselves, and explain again. Now repeat these correction sentences. Sorry, let me say that again. What I wanted to say is, that's not exactly what I meant. Let me correct myself. I forgot the word. Good. These sentences make you braver because they show you that one mistake does not end the conversation. Now let's practice sentences for daily decisions. Every day, you make small decisions. You decide what to eat, where to go, when to leave, what to buy, who to call, and what to do next. You can say, I haven't decided yet. You can say, I'm thinking about it. You can say, I'll choose this one. You can say, let's do this instead. You can say, I changed my mind. You can say, I'll go with this option. You can say, that seems better. You can say, this is more convenient. You can say, I don't want to rush. You can say, let's keep it simple. You can say, I think this is the best choice. You can say, I'll decide later. These sentences help you speak when you are choosing something. Now, imagine you are choosing food with a friend. Your friend asks, what do you want to eat? You can say, I haven't decided yet. Then you look at the menu and say, I'm thinking about it. After a moment, you say, I'll choose this one. If your friend suggests something complicated, you can say, let's keep it simple. Now repeat these sentences. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about it. I'll choose this one. Let's keep it simple. I think this is the best choice. Very good. These sentences help you sound natural because choosing and deciding are part of everyday life. Now let's practice sentences for talking about learning English itself. Since you are learning English, you should also know how to talk about your learning journey in English. You can say, I'm learning English step by step. You can say, I understand more than I can speak. You can say, I want to speak more confidently. You can say, I need to practice out loud. You can say, I'm trying to think in English. You can say, I still make mistakes, but I'm improving. You can say, I want to sound more natural. You can say, I need useful sentences for real life. You can say, I practice a little every day. You can say, I feel more confident than before. These sentences are not only useful for describing your learning, they also remind you that progress is possible. Let's say a learning paragraph together. I'm learning English step by step. I understand more than I can speak, but I'm improving every day. I need to practice out loud because speaking is a skill. I still make mistakes, but I don't want to stop. I want to speak more confidently, and I want to use English in real life. Now, repeat this paragraph slowly. Feel the words. This is not only a practice paragraph, it is a clear description of your journey. You are not waiting for perfect English. You are building useful English, sentence by sentence. Now let's do one final full practice using many daily English sentences together. Listen first, then repeat in your own voice. Today, I woke up early because I had a lot to do. I washed my face, brushed my teeth, and made breakfast. I was a little tired, but I said, I'm ready to start my day. After breakfast, I checked my messages and replied to one important message. Then I went outside. The weather was nice, but the street was busy. I waited for the bus, but it was late, so I said, I need to hurry. Later, I went to a shop and asked, how much does it cost? The price was good, so I said, I'll take this one. After that, I met a friend at a cafe. I said, it's nice to see you. And my friend said, how was your day? I answered, it was busy, but it was good. We talked about work, plans, food, and daily life. When I didn't understand something, I said, "Can you say that again?" When I needed time, I said, "Let me think for a second." When I made a small mistake, I said, "Sorry, let me say that again." At the end of the day, I felt proud because I used English in many simple moments. I did not speak perfectly, but I spoke. I did not know every word, but I continued. I used real sentences for real life, and that is how speaking confidence grows. Now remember this clearly. Useful English is built from useful sentences. Do not wait until you know everything. Start with the sentences you need today. Say them in the morning, say them at home, say them when you go outside, say them when you shop, eat, travel, ask for help, talk to a friend, make a plan, explain a problem, or describe your feelings. The more you repeat these daily sentences, the more natural they become. And when they become natural, you will not need to translate every word in your mind. Your mouth will become faster. Your brain will become calmer. Your confidence will become stronger. Keep practicing these sentences slowly, clearly, and often, and let your English become part of your real life. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, my friend. I'm Evelyn, and I'm really proud of you for staying until the end and training your English with these real daily sentences. Remember, you do not need perfect English to start speaking. You need useful sentences, daily practice, and the courage to say them out loud again and again. Every sentence you practice today can help you in real life, at home, outside, at work, in shops, with friends on the phone, and in simple conversations. So don't just listen once and forget this lesson. Come back to it. Repeat the sentences, speak slowly, and try to use a few of them in your own day. Little by little, your mouth will feel more comfortable, your brain will become faster, and your confidence will grow stronger. If this video helped you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who also wants to improve English. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, your English can improve one sentence at a time.